Let's be real, most men don't understand the power of silence when it comes to women. The modern guy has been trained to always chase, check in double text, and show he cares. And while that sounds nice in theory, here's the truth. When you stop contacting a woman, her behavior reveals everything you need to know. You don't need to guess anymore. You don't need to analyze mixed signals. You simply need to go quiet and watch. Why is this so effective? Because in today's world, women are used to attention. They're constantly validated likes, comments, DMs, praise from average guys trying to prove their worth. So when you pull away, when your energy disappears, it creates a void that only the men who understand their value are bold enough to create that silence. It's loud, and it forces her to respond in one way or another. Some women will panic and chase. Some will try to manipulate you back. In others, will pretend not to care, but their actions later expose them either way. What you do when you stop contacting her puts you in a position of clarity and power. You're no longer reacting to her mood swings or guessing where you stand. You're letting her reveal her cards. This isn't about playing games, it's about getting answers. You want to know if she values you, respects you, misses you, or was just using your attention to boost her ego. The only way to know for sure, stop reaching out. Let her feel your absence in this video. I'll break down exactly what happens when you do that, and I'll show you what signs to look out for, what her reactions really mean, and how to respond like a man with self-respect. Let's begin. Before we start the video, I want to remind you that my exclusive online course on mastering the dating game is available now. If you've been learning from my YouTube videos, you're only scratching the surface. This course goes deeper, teaching you everything you need to know about the dating game, from approaching a woman to building real attraction. We just finished section 5 in the course, and you won't find this information on videos on my channel. It's easy to access with a secure payment option. Visit Stoic Approach to Life, podia.com, or click the link in the description to enroll now and improve your dating life. She tests your silence. She tests your silence the moment you stop contacting a woman. Something shifts in her mind, whether she shows it or not. She starts to wonder why. She starts to question what happened. But before she gives you a genuine reaction, the first thing she's going to do is test you. And most men fail this test without even knowing they're being tested. She might post something vague on social media, something about finally letting go or focusing on herself, just to see if you'll react. She might like one of your old pictures pop up in your story views, or text something completely random just to bait you into reaching out first. And if you do, she wins. She knows you couldn't hold the line. She knows you're still chasing. And from that moment on, the dynamic shifts back in her favor. This test isn't always obvious. It can come in the form of silence too, waiting to see if you'll break first, and that's where most guys fall apart. They assume her silence means she's moved on, so they rush back in trying to fix something that wasn't even broken. But here's what you need to understand. Women don't test men. They don't care about her testing. You is her way of measuring your emotional strength. She wants to know, are you the type of man who gets shaken by her distance, or are you grounded enough to hold your own regardless? This is where your self-control comes into play. If you stay calm and refuse to react, you pass her test without even saying a word. You show her that you're not emotionally dependent on her response. That kind of stability is rare, and it's attractive. It makes her second-guess the power she thought she had over you. Women will test men in different ways depending on their personality. Some do it emotionally, others through attention-seeking moves, and some through complete detachment. But the key is this: if you fold, you prove that your silence was never strength. It was just a tactic. If you remain unshaken, she feels your absence in a deeper way. It triggers curiosity, uncertainty, and sometimes even jealousy. That's when she starts to rethink everything, because now she's dealing with a man who doesn't beg, doesn't chase, and doesn't need constant reassurance. You're not punishing her with silence. You're protecting your energy and letting her reveal her true intentions, whether she respects you more or disappears altogether. The result is clarity, and that clarity is priceless for any man who values his time, peace, and emotional freedom. Remember, her first move after your silence will usually be a test. Don't fall for it. Let her feel your absence. Let her wonder, let her chase, because if you chase first, you teach her to run. But if you hold the line, you teach her to respect. And once a woman respects you, everything changes. She doubts her control. 2. She doubts her control when you stop contacting a woman and she realizes you're not chasing, not checking in, not reacting. A seed of doubt is planted in her mind. That doubt is simple but powerful. Did I lose control over him? You have to understand something. Many women aren't used to being ignored in the modern dating world. They're flooded with attention. They're used to men orbiting them, validating them, fighting for their time. So when you suddenly go quiet, you interrupt that pattern. And when that pattern breaks, she doesn't just feel confused, she feels uncertain. She starts to question whether she ever really had a grip on you in the first place. Control in relationships isn't always about being dominant. Often it's about influence. It's about knowing that if she pulls away, you'll come running, that if she gets cold, you'll try harder, that if she disappears, you'll panic. This unspoken control gives her comfort because it means she can act however she wants and still keep you around. But the moment you take that comfort away by staying silent, you flip the script. Now you're the one she can't read. Now you're the one with mystery. And that's when the doubt sets in. She may not say it out loud, but internally she's questioning her position in your life. She might think, why hasn't he reached out? Has he moved on? Is he talking to someone else? These thoughts chip away at her sense of control. And if she was playing games or trying to keep you around just for attention, she now feels the cost of that behavior. Your silence creates tension. That tension makes her wonder. And when a woman starts to wonder, she becomes emotionally invested because curiosity is emotional engagement. The man who doesn't react becomes the man she can't control, and the man she can't control becomes the man she starts to chase. The mistake many guys make is thinking, silence is passive. It's not true. Silence, when done from a place of self-respect, is one of the most powerful actions you can take because it doesn't beg for closure, it doesn't demand explanation, it doesn't try to fix or force anything. It simply removes your energy from someone who wasn't valuing it. And in that space, she begins to reflect, not because you told her to, but because she feels the shift internally. When a woman doubts her control, she has two options. She either tries to regain it, usually by reaching out, testing you, or trying to pull you back in, or she walks away. Either result gives you the truth. And that's what silence is really about. It's about putting the emotional responsibility back on her and letting her reveal where she truly stands. You're not trying to punish her. You're just making it clear you will not be controlled, manipulated, or emotionally played. And once she realizes she can't control you like every other guy, she sees you as different. And being different is what makes her chase. She replays the past. 3. She replays the past. When you stop contacting a woman, something strange starts happening in her mind. She begins to rewind the entire relationship in her head. This isn't just nostalgia, it's psychological, because silence creates space, and in that space, her brain starts filling in the blanks. She replays the conversations, the moments, the connection, especially if it felt unfinished. She starts thinking about what she said, how you reacted, and whether she pushed you too far. It doesn't matter if she was the one who pulled away, or if things ended with mixed signals. Your silence becomes the trigger that makes her revisit everything you see. Most women don't reflect deeply when they're constantly getting attention, as long as they know you're still in the picture, even if it's just by liking her stories or checking in once in a while. They never have to face the full consequences of their actions. But when you go quiet, completely quiet, that's when the silence becomes real. That's when the memories hit. That's when regret has room to breathe. She may start thinking about how she took you for granted. Maybe she thought you'd always be there. Maybe she assumed you'd never walk away. But now you're gone. And it's not because you made a scene or had a dramatic breakdown. It's because you chose to pull back with dignity. That silence forces her to process. And in that process, she starts romanticizing the good parts. She remembers how you made her feel. She thinks about the version of herself you brought out. And the more she reflects, the more she starts to miss that version of the relationship. That's the irony. Distance sharpens memories, When you were around all the time, your presence became normal, expected, but the moment you disappear, you become valuable. Not because you changed, but because she lost access, and people value what they no longer have easy access to. This is where the real power of silence kicks in. She might scroll through your old messages, she might look at your pictures and wonder what you're doing now. She might wonder if you're thinking about her the way she's suddenly thinking about you. And here's the key. The more you stay silent, the more the past plays on repeat in her head. But here's what most guys don't realize when she replays the past. She's not just thinking about what you did wrong, she's also remembering where she messed up. She may not admit it, but that guilt starts to build. She starts to think, maybe I should have handled things differently, or maybe he was better than I gave him credit for. And that emotional weight can become a powerful motivator for her to reach out, apologize, or try again. Your job is simple. Let her go through that process without interruption. Don't rush to fix anything. Don't break the silence just because you miss her. If she's truly meant to be in your life, let her take that mental journey on her own, because the woman who replays the past is often the one who comes back looking for another chance. She starts watching you. She starts watching you when a woman feels your absence. The first thing she usually does is start watching you. She may not text, she may not call, but believe this, she's checking for signs. She wants to know what you're doing, how you're handling the silence. And most importantly, if you've moved on, this is one of the clearest signs that your silence is getting to her. She becomes an observer in your life again, but this time from a distance. It's subtle, almost invisible if you're not paying attention, but it's happening. She'll lurk on your social media, liking an old post here and there to remind you she exists. She'll view your stories within seconds. Even if she never used to do that, she might even use a fake account if her pride is too high to watch from her main one. Why? Because curiosity is a powerful emotion, especially when it's mixed with insecurity, and your silence, your lack of interest creates that emotional cocktail. She's watching to see if you're hurting. She's watching to see if you're chasing other women. She's watching to figure out whether your silence is real strength or just a tactic. The most important thing for you as a man is not to react. Don't post anything for attention. Don't try to bait her with emotional quotes or indirect messages. Stay calm, stay composed. Let her see you winning in silence. That drives her crazy in the best way. It tells her that your life doesn't revolve around her validation, that you're not out here trying to impress or prove something. You're just moving forward. And that is what triggers deeper emotions in her. The truth is, women want to feel chosen, they want to feel special. But when you stop contacting her and don't give her that spotlight anymore, she starts to crave it again. And instead of feeling like she's in control, she starts wondering why she's not the center of your attention anymore. That shift in dynamic is everything, because now she's watching for any hint that you still care. And every time she doesn't see one, it gets under her skin a little more. But here's the twist: while she's watching you, she's also comparing you to everyone else in her orbit. And if you were the man who gave her real connection, strength and confidence, your silence will be the loudest thing in her life. Every other guy trying to get her attention will feel like noise. You become the signal, the one that stood out by walking away without drama. So stay still, let her watch, let her see your peace, your progress, your discipline, because nothing makes a woman question her decisions like a man who's moved forward without bitterness or neediness. When she sees you standing strong on your own, that's when she feels the pull. That's when the watching turns into wondering, and wondering for a woman is the first step toward reaching back out. She reaches out indirectly. 5, she reaches out indirectly when your silence has lasted long enough to affect her emotionally, but her pride still stands in the way. A woman won't always come back with a straightforward message like, "I miss you," or "Can we talk?" Instead, she'll test the waters, she'll reach out indirectly. This is a strategic move, one that allows her to break the silence without fully exposing her vulnerability. And if you're not careful, you'll misread it and jump right back into her frame. She might send a "Hey" at midnight. She might reply to an old Instagram story that's days past its relevance. She may even ask you something meaningless like, "Do you still have my hoodie?" These are not accidental. These are carefully chosen, low-risk moves designed to see if you'll open the door again, because if you do, then she knows she still has access, she knows you were waiting, and just like that, she gets her emotional validation without ever having to admit she missed you. But here's what separates strong men from the rest. They don't take the bait, they see it for what it is. A test, not a heartfelt reconnection, not a change of heart, a test. And passing that test means not chasing, it means staying grounded, staying calm, and responding, if at all, with control. You're not ignoring her to punish her, you're just not rewarding breadcrumbs. With full energy, if she really wants you, she has to come clean, she has to communicate clearly, not through vague texts or manipulative little pings. Some women will tag you in a meme or send a reel that reminded them of you. Others will send you a long out-of-nowhere message about something random, pretending like nothing happened between you two. It's all smoke. It's her way of saying, "I'm still watching, I'm still curious, but I'm not ready to fully surrender." And that's why your response or lack of response matters so much. If she genuinely values you, she will escalate her effort. That soft reach out will turn into a real message, a real question, a real invitation. But only if you don't overreact to the first touch. If you reply emotionally or too soon, or with neediness, you break the tension too early. And once the tension breaks, the chase ends. She feels like she's back in control, and you're back where she left you waiting. Understand this, the indirect reach out is not the finish line. It's the starting point of a woman realizing your presence is no longer guaranteed. And for many women, that's when attraction reignites. When she sees that you're not emotionally dependent on her anymore, she starts to see you differently, stronger, more attractive, more masculine. You're not reactive, you're deliberate. So when that message comes, take a breath, observe, let her show her cards. If she's just testing, don't fold. If she's genuinely reaching out with respect and effort, then and only then do you decide if she's worth letting back into your space. That's what emotional leadership looks like, and that's what makes a man stand out in today's dating world. She gets emotional 6. She gets emotional the longer your silence lasts, the more emotionally unstable she can become, especially if she wasn't expecting you to actually stay quiet. At first, she might act unbothered, she'll pretend everything is fine, but underneath that surface, the emotional tension is building. Women are emotional creatures by nature. And when a man they once had access to suddenly disappears without a fight, it triggers something powerful inside them. Your absence becomes more than just space. It becomes a mirror. It forces her to sit with herself, her actions, and what role she played in pushing you away. At this point, she might start breaking. You'll notice subtle cracks in her behavior. Maybe she goes on a posting spree, sharing emotional quotes, songs about loss, or pictures from when things were good between you two. She might even pretend to be extremely happy, going out more, showing off new attention from other guys, but all of that is a cover for the internal storm. She wants you to notice her pain without her having to admit it. But here's the reality. Emotional reactions are a direct sign that your silence has reached her on a deeper level. If she truly didn't care, she'd stay indifferent. She wouldn't feel the need to project, provoke, or even pretend. But when a woman is emotionally triggered by your silence, she's not in control anymore. That's when her logic breaks down and her emotions take the wheel. And once emotions take over, women start doing things they never planned to. Some will lash out, others will confess their feelings. Some might even break down and apologize. It all depends on her personality, but the root is the same. Your silence created emotional pressure that's too hard to carry. Now this is where you have to be careful. When she's emotional, she may not say what she means. She might try to provoke you into a reaction just so she can feel powerful again. She might send angry texts, accuse you of not caring, or call you out for disappearing. Don't fall for it. Her anger is not real hate. It's frustration, fear, and confusion all boiling over. She's not mad that you left. She's mad that you didn't come back on her terms. Strong men don't react emotionally. They understand that her outburst is her problem, not theirs. Your job is to stay grounded, to remain calm and not to respond impulsively. If she's crying, shouting, or throwing emotional punches, it's because she's hurting. And if she's hurting, it means she still cares. Let her feel it. Don't rush to save her. Don't try to comfort her into liking you again. Let her sit in that emotional discomfort. That space is where clarity is born for her and for you. Because here's the truth. Emotional reactions reveal emotional investment. And the woman who's emotionally invested can no longer pretend she's in control. That's when she becomes honest. That's when the games stop. And that's when you'll know your silence wasn't just heard, it was felt. She makes a bold move. 7. She makes a bold move. There comes a point in your silence where the pretending ends, the tests, the indirect messages, the emotional outbursts. If none of that pulls you back in and you still hold your ground, something different happens. She finally makes a bold move. Not every woman will reach this point, but the ones who truly felt a connection with you and can't get you off their mind will. And this move is no longer subtle. It's not a breadcrumb. It's not a game. It's an action that says, I miss you, I want back in, and I'm willing to put my pride down to make it happen. That bold move can take different forms. It might be a long text pouring her heart out, explaining everything she felt, but never said. It could be her showing up in person, calling you when she never calls, or sending a message that clearly admits she wants to see you again. Whatever it is, there's no more ambiguity. She stops trying to protect her ego and starts chasing clarity because your silence has created something too real to ignore what pushed her to this point. Your consistency, your discipline, your refusal to be manipulated or drawn back in by weak efforts. Most men crack under the pressure of silence. Most men can't handle not knowing where they stand, but you stood firm, and when you did, you proved you're not like the others. You proved that you value yourself, that you're not afraid to walk away when respect, effort, and emotional honesty aren't being given to you. And for a woman who's emotionally tied to you, that strength becomes magnetic. She doesn't just want to win anymore, she wants to be chosen again. Now here's where a lot of guys get it wrong. The moment she makes a bold move, they rush in with desperation. They say, I missed you too. Or, let's fix this right now. They forget the silence wasn't a punishment, it was a filter. It was a way to see her true intentions. So when she comes back strong, don't drop your standards. Don't accept her back just because she finally showed up. You have to evaluate her words, her actions, and most importantly, why she's returning. Is it because she truly sees your value now? Or is it because her other options didn't work out and she's circling back? That bold move must come with accountability. She needs to acknowledge where things went wrong. She needs to show growth. Otherwise, you're just signing up for a repeat cycle of confusion and pain. As a man, you have to protect your peace above all else. You've already done the hard part. You held the line you didn't chase, and you created space. Now you use that power to choose wisely. If she returns with real intent and you decide to give her a chance, do it on your terms, with boundaries, with clarity, with self-respect intact, because the man who doesn't fold under silence is the man every woman remembers and the one she comes back to with her pride in her hands. Conclusion: when you stop contacting a woman, you stop chasing confusion and start exposing truth. Her reactions reveal everything. Whether she truly cared, took you for granted, or just needed your attention to feel important, your silence isn't weakness, it's strength. It forces her to either step up or step out. And in that space, you reclaim your power, your peace, and your standards. Never be afraid to walk away when your value isn't being respected. The right woman won't need to be chased. She'll recognize your worth in your absence and come back with clarity, respect, and effort. That's real power. And remember, if you're serious about mastering the dating game, don't miss out on my exclusive online course. We go beyond what's covered in these videos, giving you powerful insights from the first approach to lasting attraction. It's easy to enroll with a secure payment option. Visit Stoic Approach to Life, podia.com, or simply click the link in the description to secure your spot. Don't wait until it's too late. Take action now and start transforming your dating life today. I want to especially appreciate you for taking your time to watch till the end of this video. I hope the video helps you improve every aspect of your relationship with women. Music.